both Brooklyn, New York, now for their Twitter accounts. I love the hats. If you are tweeting, the hashtag is Ottawa Bad Boys.
Victory over the Ottawa Outlaws. I'm Yika Trainer, and the Ottawa Outlaws are trying to win against New York for just the first time this season. Will the third time be the charm? Let's take a look at the AUDL East Division standings. You can see that the three playoff berths have already been secured. Toronto has clinched the first and remains the division's best chance for a league title. Second place DC Breeze is capping up a great season and looks to remain in power for years to come. And New York has dashed the playoff hopes for both Montreal and Ottawa a little sooner than fans would have liked. I'm now joined by color commentator Stephen Trainer. Stephen, the Outlaws are without a few of their key players today, including Derek Alexander. How will this affect their strategy today?
Well, Yika, that's absolutely right. They're missing about 85% of their starting offensive line from the start of the season. But don't be afraid, Ottawa fans. They've got lots of depth and lots of talent to play for Ottawa today. And with the home crowd advantage, there's a good chance that they'll have a victory today.
So a lot of talent still on the field today. Who are some of the players we should be excited about?
Well, on the New York side, we've got Ryan Drost. He has an identical twin that's also on the team, but Ryan's production has not been able to be matched by anybody. He's been an amazing plus 68 in goals for goals against differential, despite the fact that he plays most of his points on defense. He leads the team in almost every single offensive category and defensive category, with the exception of assists.
And what about for Ottawa?
On the Ottawa side, it's number 14, Mike Lee, who's had a heck of a stretch in the last 6 games. He scored 33 goals and had 14 assists to lead his team. That's close to 6 goals per game for his team. He's been exceptional. He's really taken it to a new level.
So we've mentioned that New York has beaten Ottawa twice already this year, but both times were just by a few points. What does Ottawa have to do to come away with the win today?
Yes, Ottawa has not won this year against New York, but the differential in goals for goals against in those 2 games has only been 7. So they need to continue to play efficient offense, cut down on some of their turnovers, and get some Ds from strong players such as Nick Boucher.
Okay, well, the teams are ready. We'll be back with the opening poll after this break on Rogers TV.
This program is brought to you in part by Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. Gabriel Pizza, 310-7777, or GabrielPizza.com.
This program is brought to you by the Ottawa Sun, where real fans turn for sports news.
Welcome back. Will the third time be the charm indeed? This year, and what's it going to take them to win this matchup finally, Steve?
Well, it's going to be an exciting game today. There's a big crowd today, and they're looking to play, much the same as they did last week. They had a 2-point lead at the victor last week, but they've got the home crowd advantage now, and Ottawa will be looking to play a very good game with some of their Team Canada representatives from last week's World Championships back in the fold and ready to play for them today.
Great point. We're at MNP Park here at the beautiful Carleton campus. Took a nice drive around ahead of time. Nice weather outside too, about 21 degrees out there, but a lot of wind. Stephen, this could play a factor in today's game.
That's right, and when we were watching them in warm-ups, we couldn't help but notice the amazing amount of skill that they have at professional level. Everyone's got the throws and are able to throw with extra spin into the wind, but the wind is strong enough today that it might affect some of the longer throws. If it stays up there too long, it might get pulled back.
And there it is, the opening pull, that pretty deep one there. New York controlling it. The Huck deep in the end zone, waiting for it to come down. Knocks it out of the way, though.
Great first effort by Ottawa there on the play, on a nice throw out to space here. It's Russ Nichols throwing out to Leon Force-No. He gets up there, and there's some contact there over the shoulder on Leon, who's the receiver. And so Ottawa's going to get it on the end zone line.
Going to take it back. It looks like what happened there, Steven?
It was an infraction on the offensive side, so Leon Forest-No trying to get some space pushed off, and he gets a 10-yard penalty backwards, and he'll take it from further away to the end zone.
So the second chance here, dumps it back. Taking a look for an open man, he can dump it again. Lofts that one out to the side. Bring it back and forth here. Ottawa finally into the end zone, and there is the first score of the game. Ottawa finally gets it. They're on the edge of the end zone, had to dump it back a few times and finally gets one in.
Well, our player to watch for Ottawa, Mike Lee with the goal on that play, and a very nice throw by Jeff Bevan. Andy Corse swinging the disc out far and wide, not an easy throw to make. Bevan catches it, and then he makes a nice throw out to space to Mike Lee on the break side. Excellent offensive execution by the Outlaws. They used the break side there quite well on that play. Mike Lee, as we said before in the warm-ups, he's just 33 goals in the past 6 games. That's an astronomical rate of goals considering teams would have time to adjust to him. Hasn't stopped him. He's close to 6 goals a game, and he's off to a great start today.
Yeah, he's been a huge contributor for this club this season. It's a good thing to have him today. They are missing some players. We'll talk about that in a bit as New York possesses the disc now. They go for a deep one. That one well too far.
Well, that's an example of a very good thrower who put it out to space there. Sean Keegan, who's going to be looked at as one of their big throwers today. But the wind at his back just took the disc a little bit further than he would have hoped on that play, and it was hard to catch for the receiver.
Good point there. Looks like the wind is blowing pretty hard left to right today. Ottawa trying to move that upfield, the whistle on the play.
So that looks like a stall down on that. Laurent Loiseau, one of the younger players on the team, just got caught holding the disc on a little too long. You only have 7 stalls in order to get rid of it, and he held on to it a little long and lost it.
And that hurts as New York takes possession right in front of the end zone. But Ottawa gets it back. Little contact there. Now New York again with it at midfield. There's one of your players to watch from the beginning of the game.
Yes, a very exciting player in Kevin Dross, and we'll see if he can be more involved in this play here.
That one hits the ground. A lot of turnovers here early on too. Wow.
Second turnover on this play that we've seen, and the wind is a factor. It is quite strong, and if you're making those short cuts near the end zone line, you don't have a lot of space to work with, and that's why we're seeing some of those turnovers for New York on the sideline there. They need to get the disc back into the middle of the field.
So do you think maybe we won't see as many big hucks today then as a result?
I would say probably not. As over time they will adjust and they will be able to throw into the wind just due to the high skill level of both teams. See, it looks like we have a injury here to Laurent Loiseau on the big huck up there.
Yeah, it looks like he's favoring his right hand maybe.
Yeah.
Take another look.
Here's the put out to space. Great defense and nice effort on that play, and it might have hurt himself on the follow through as he fell down there.
I think so too. I didn't see any contact up high. I think you're right when he landed maybe.
He's going to go take no precautions. He's no risk. He's going to get over there and take every precaution to get it checked out by the physio staff. And
I think we'll see that from both teams in talking to the managers, the coaches rather, before the game. About where they're going to be playing their players today, and Joel Pitney anyways spoke about maybe mixing it around a little bit with his players, having guys maybe not playing the traditional positions that they have so far this year.
It looks like there's another call there. It's going to go back. It might have been a pick called on the play, and that's a 10-yard penalty against Ottawa.
So Ottawa has it just ahead of midfield. Moving it out to the side. Has a player in the middle. Fakes the hammer, goes to the outside, and another goal for Ottawa, the Outlaws. 2-0.
Jordan McGregor with the goal of number 5, Jordan McGregor with the excellent goal. He's had a great season defensively. He really has fought his way into the lineup this year. Scotty Westwell, who led Ottawa against New York last week with 3 defensive turnovers created. He was a bit of a forgotten man earlier in the season, wasn't getting a lot of play time in a deep defensive roster, but he's just played really strong of late with some of the absences due to Team Canada commitments. And on that play there, he was wide open, caught the disc, and made the continuation pass to Jordan McGregor.
You talked about missing some time, and we have the Ottawa Outlaws have missed a few players, whether it's been the U20 or some other commitments.
That's right. So we're blessed with such a big league here, such a big feeder system, and so many good local Ottawa players, and a lot of them were asked to play for Team Canada at the International World Championship in London, England. Turnover on the pole on the continuation throw.
That one hurts.
Ottawa will get it right out the end zone line.
Oh, dove a bit early there. Looked like he may be tripped up.
Nice effort by Colin Green on that play. Scotty Westwell tried to make a nice break throw there, but it just didn't work.
A big chance for Ottawa, too, with it right on the goal line. Not able to convert that one. 2 defenders. So whistle here.
A lot of calls so far, which is very unlikely for the professional game. One of the great things about having professional game and refs is that we don't have as many calls. Players typically tend to play by the rules, but we've had a couple of picks and a couple of fouls so far.
That's one of the great things about this sport, too, when it's not played at the professional level. I mean, you're calling all these plays in yourself as you see the big huck there. Will he get there in time? He does. New York with a man open. Oh, and he drops it.
One of the hardest throws to make. I know it seems so easy, but it's hard to throw a backhand to one side to someone that's running away from you on that play, especially when you're off to the races with a chance to score.
And they had 2 players available there to throw to.
It was a total jailbreak. They had everybody open deep. They just needed to make that easy pass.
Fakes the hammer, dumps it back. Ottawa with some short passes. There's a big huck, someone open in the end zone. The dive, oh, he doesn't need to. He goes right to him. Nice grab. Another point here for Ottawa, 3-0.
Scotty Westwell continuing his strong play from last week. A victory over Philadelphia last week, and a very strong showing in a loss against New York on the road. And he's already thrown for a goal, and he catches one there on the nice play. And really what we're seeing here right now is both teams really do have a lot of skill set, and they are facing a heavy wind, whether you're going into the wind or against or working with the wind. So we're seeing a lot of work on the break side. And what we mean by that, to those that are watching at home or supporting someone that's into Ultimate and is watching it, is typically in the defensive strategy of Ultimate, you try to force whoever has the disc to throw to one particular side of the field, which allows all the other players covering the potential receivers upfield to say, okay, so-and-so is forcing this particular side. I only have to cover 50% of the field. The game is too hard and the field is too big to cover both sides. And what both teams are doing so far is they're actually breaking that mark and getting it to the break side, which makes it really hard to play defense upfield.
Puts that one over top of the defender. That throw, that pull by Ottawa, just getting past the midfield point. That's the shortest one we've seen today. New York threading the needle a little bit better here now. That one goes into the hands of another New York player in the end zone, and the first point here for New York.
Yeah, very nice throw there, up over the top. No fear whatsoever of the wind there, and we can see it on the highlight reel. It's very hard to mark something like that. So we see the nice fake by number 44, and he throws it up over the top. Once that defender overcommitted on that, it allowed to be able to throw to both sides of the field. And like we said before, it's just too hard to cover both sides of the field. Nice throw by Owen Murphy, and that was precipitated by a nice catch and fake to fake out the defender.
There is Sam Taylor, nice grab by him. First point for his team.
And New York was talking about, when we were talking to them before the game, we were talking about how they were surprised by how well Ottawa played in that first half in New York last weekend. They got taken to the cleaners a little early. They got a little bit of a wake-up call, and so they're coming into this game with a lot of respect for Ottawa and what they can do. They got off to a bit of a tough start here at 3-0, but that 3-1 point was critical, I think.
Another short pull, that time by New York. Ottawa, an easy point there for them. Good passes back and forth, nice and short.
Mike Lee, in the last 6 or 7 games, wherever he is, there's usually a goal. Great throw by Dave Jansen to Leon Forsno. Swings it out to the side. Mike Lee grabs it and without hesitation gets it over before the defender had time to cover. Looks like New York was trying to play some sort of junk zone there with such a strong wind in favor of the Outlaws. But a nice job by Andy Corey, who doesn't always get to play sort of offensive points. He's usually the defensive guy that's charged with making big pulls, one of the league leaders in terms of pulls, in terms of distance and time in the air. But whenever he gets out there on offense, he's got good hands too. So good goal by him and good way to get started into the game.
Mike Lee getting on the action again.
So here's a big pull from Nick Boucher. He's no slouch either when it comes to getting the pulls out, but that wind is tough. Took about 40 or 50 yards away from him.
New York now possessing it on the outside. Looking for the open man in the end zone. He jumps, he gets it. I think that's number 17.
That's right, Matthew Stevens. Owen Murphy with another assist here. So he's got to be feeling really good.
After being down early, 2 quick points here now for New York.
So Murphy did it with a backhand on the first play. On the next play, he does it with a nice flick out to score. And O'Brien with a nice effort for the Outlaws, but he's not able to close and get the defense on that.
So down 4-2 now. We talked about their last game. Ottawa was ahead by 3 points at halftime in that one. And then head coach for Ottawa, John Haig, said they kind of ran out of gas in that third quarter, didn't have the full roster, and New York was able to come back in that one.
I think, no victory, no loss is great, but that was a bit of a character builder because they didn't have a lot of their stars or team leaders in terms of goals, assists, or whatever. But they played such a great game on the road, and they, maybe they deserved a better fate, but they're going to look to build on that, and they believe they can win now after having such a great game on the road. Looks like New York is playing a zone here. They know that the wind is really at the backs of Ottawa, so they're trying everything. Now they've melted into a man-to-man defense.
A decent pull there by New York. Gets it just about to the 40-yard line. Is that one? Oh! Got to catch your D's.
Wow, indeed. Redemption for Andy Octorloni on that. So few times I've seen him play for so many years. I've very rarely seen him actually drop a disc, especially on a second chance. And he gets it right back with a great throw out to space as well to Andy Corey.
With 2 defenders on him, goes right through, threads the needle in the end zone. The score for Ottawa. And 5-2, up by 3 again.
Great throw on the backhand hug by Andy Octoroni there. Out to space. He just has so much size and length. The defender didn't have a chance to really stop that. And Andy Corey makes a nice catch and had some people closing in on him.
Ottawa now talking over what they're going to do on this pull. Taking their time now. Here it goes. About the same, just past the 50-yard line, and rolls up for New York.
So Nick Boucher is capable of throwing about an 80-yard pull. So if he's not only able to get it 40 or 50 yards, that just lets you know how crazy that wind is out there.
I remember one of the earlier games that we called on Rogers this year, and it was so cold. The wind was a big factor again as that one just gets by the arms of the New York player. it was just so cold outside, but a big windy game as well, and it seemed to really affect, it was Philadelphia.
Yes.
They weren't able to get the throws very far, maybe by around the 50-yard line, but even Ottawa was able to pull pretty good.
Well, here we look at the head-to-head, where we're going to look at that a little bit later, but as you were saying before, Philadelphia is one of the most inexperienced teams in the league, hasn't won a game this year, and they were greatly affected by the wind, and we had to tell them that it's not usually this cold. Oh, great throw at the space.
Gets it right at the edge of the end zone. So he's going to have to stop and look for a player. Oh, that was great. Throws it low and just gets in the arms of an Ottawa player in the end zone. Another score for them, 6-2. The biggest lead they've had today.
Great throw. A nice grab on the huck here, and Harrison Schwarzer is just coming off a World's appearance for Canada in the mixed division. Throws a backhand out to space on the forehand side. That's sometimes can be quite tricky, especially with wind. But great grab on that play by Alec Arsenault, who's kind of emerged as one of their defensive stars this year. He's young, he's an import. And we look at the head-to-head between these two teams so far. New York leads the series 2-0. There is a two-game point, a point difference for the two games is a mere 7 points. And the Empire star players have played up to par. The Drost brothers, Aloro, Babbitt, etc., they've all played really well against Ottawa. Ottawa hasn't had the benefit of having their star players play in all the games against New York due to Team Canada commitments. But that has allowed people like Mike Lee or Nick Boucher or Scott Westwell to have the best games they've had all season. So it's exciting that Ottawa has got off to such a good start here. We're looking at a 6-2 score, and if you're Coach John Haig, you could not have asked for a better start, and he's doing a very good job of sort of cycling players through the lineup and having it's not just the same 7 guys playing offense and defense, and that's going to play a big factor as we move forward in the game.
And New York almost put themselves in a tough situation last weekend too, with 3 games to go in their 14-game season, heading into their home game with Ottawa. That was last Saturday, June 25th. The Empire knew that a win would guarantee their playoff status. And a loss, though, would force them to have to win on the road at Ottawa and or Toronto.
That's
which
right.
would be very tough for them.
Yes, well, Toronto's world beater good right now. I mean, they've won the AUDL championship in the past, and they've just a ton of club stars that are playing there in Toronto. So for New York to expect to win against Toronto, which they haven't done in 2 years, it's probably not going to happen. So they needed to win last week because they knew it was going to be tougher to win on the road here, make the big trip up, and then play Toronto back-to-back. It was tough. They managed to get the win, and now they advance to the playoffs no matter what due to tiebreak.
And not only are they on the road, but for both those contexts against Ottawa and Toronto, but traveling from Ottawa to Toronto between games, and also knowing that their roster may not be quite as complete as they would ideally like it to be, would be just tough for them. So a big win for them last weekend, something they really needed.
You see another turnover there from New York. They're really struggling with the wind here right now.
Ottawa, nice quick throw there in the end zone. Another point for them, 7-2, up 5 now.
Yeah, we're looking at Ottawa playing its absolute best this year. They're really, really going here. And we see a nice catch by Cooper Brotman to Alex Arsenault, who makes the pass up to Nick Boucher. And yeah, just an excellent offensive transition there. New York was made several passes in their own end zone line, weren't able to move it up the field. And we're seeing that some of their star players that are really looked upon and have done very well against Ottawa in the past, Josh Aloro there, he's having a lot of passes that are going to the ground. Turnovers pack here, we look at it, there's Josh again, having some difficulty with it. Scott Westwell, he threw the disc out, just didn't have the right spin on that. But and then we see an underthrow on there. You basically have to make sure that if you're going to throw the disc into the wind, it's got to have a lot of spin to wide open people. If you're throwing to people that are covered with this wind and you're not putting enough spin on it, you're going to ask for some turnovers and keep it off the sideline.
Big huck there deep. Catches it now. Does that look like he caught it in the end zone? He does.
Ryan Drost with the big catch in the end zone. He's just a fantastic statistical person this year. He's been a stat god this year, and we're getting to see it live. He truly is quite a strong player. Another big huck by Murphy on this play, and Drost comes down with the big grab. There's not much you can do if you're Luke Phelan on there. The assumption is that you had them on the sideline and you were forcing them to the other side. So when he got beat on the break side, they've got to find a way to stop Murphy from making those big throws.
That's a close play, a tough one for Drost too. When you catch that one, if you're able to get your feet in the end zone when you land, or if you drop ahead of time, and then you got to wait on the end zone for your players to catch up and try to get it in quickly. Yeah, so we're looking at right now. We've got a score of 7-3, and we see that Owen Murphy has had assists on all 3 of the New York plays so far. So that was a bit of unexpected. We expected the Drost brothers to be a little bit more prominent so far. So we'll see if Murphy continues to lead the team, or if he's helped out by some of the other strong players here that are just waiting to break out. Ottawa looking for an open man. They dump it outside. Lee keeps it outside. Tries to get open. He does. Goes deep in the end zone. The dive. He can't catch it, though. Amazing effort by Mike Lee on that play. And if you were watching the highlight there, it was break, 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 all to the break side. That's exactly where New York did not want the disc to go. And Andy Corey just stepped out and threw it anyways. Unfortunately, Mike Lee got so close to that play. Just a great cutter, great angles, good speed, great hands. That's impressive stuff. As you said, Stephen, great cut there. Tries to get it on the outside. They saw that he was open. Had it on his hands, but just bounced off. New York gets this one, the big huck, to midfield now. Another one deep. And he gets it, doesn't even need to dive, drops right in front of his chest. A nice grab there from New York, and another point for them. Well, Ryan's identical twin, Mike Drost, didn't like not being featured, obviously, because that was definitely a beautiful throw by Mike on that play. That is the perfect forehand flick into the wind, a nasty biting wind out to open space. It's just a really, really good throw by Drost on that play, and a really nice run and grab by Ben Ivers, number 19 for the Empire. We talked a bit about before the game, so I'm a big baseball guy, but just watching some of the highlights in games early on, this is a sport where you can see you'd have a lot of great highlights. The problem with that is the throws are so accurate in this sport. I mean, you don't need those big dives all the time. Right. Well, they have a name for that. You can tease your own teammates if you find that they're holding up a little bit in order to make the big layout bid. We call it the gratuitous. Okay. So no one wants to have their own teammates call them out for being gratuitous, but sometimes you need to make those layouts, and especially with this wind, if you're New York, especially here trying to get back in the game, you need to lay out in the ground to do whatever it takes to keep the disc alive. Right. In baseball, we call it the TV dive, and since they're on TV now, they could do that as well. Big throw out by the Outlaws to Andy Corey, comes down with the grab on that play. Nick Boucher with a great throw. Nick Boucher doing it again for his Ottawa team. Another point for them. 8-4, up 4. Big throw by Andrew Octorloni. It wasn't Nick Boucher at all. It was Andrew Octorloni with a big throw out to space. And that was a contested catch for Andy Corey. So for him to come up and catch that disc against number 21, the Empire, Ross Ward, is quite impressive. Not an easy one there, and a good defensive play by the Empires, but it just wasn't enough. Now, if he drops that, you think something they'd call pass interference on? That's an interesting one. Obviously, that might be a little bit tough, but it's incident. It looked like incidental contact, and I know that Andy is a very, very strong defensive player. So the last thing he's going to be thinking about is, oh, I need to get someone to hit to put my hands on me and get the foul. He's more like, let's just keep it nice and clean and catch it, and make the grab, and that's what he did. Nice, a great pull there by Ottawa. Goes all the way into the football end zone. This one up in the air. The D by Ottawa knocks it down. Paul Mensa with a strong D there. And he really runs hard here. This is a great angle shot showing just a great run by both players, but Paul Mensa getting into the game, and he makes a great defensive play there. Good positioning. Ottawa, some quick throws here, dumps it back. Trying to find an open man deep. They do here. There's 3 Ottawa players that converge on that one and then throw it in the end zone. Another score. Double happiness for Paul Mensa. 9-4.
We refer to as double happiness. You get the D, you go back on offensive on transition, and you're the one that scores. Good for Paul. So Bryce Ring with a nice throw out to space here. This is a really nice huck. And it's caught by Alec Arsenault, who makes the good continuation play. Alec Arsenault just playing with so much confidence right now. And it's so great to see some of the younger players on the Outlaws step up and play well this year. Last year was more of a veteran-laden team, and they played a lot of the minutes. And early in the season, the veterans played as well, a lot of minutes. And there was just a realization that there needed to be some new blood, especially on the defensive side, in order to do something that's very, very hard to do, a very hard skill, create turnovers. And when you do that, you need skill and you need a lot of speed, and that's what young guys do. Alec Arsenault has Nick Boucher and Paul Mensah are examples of guys that have stepped up when given the opportunity to do that.
A pretty good pull there by Ottawa. The disc held up in the air for quite a while. And the big huck out of the hands of the Empire player.
Well, Ryan Drotz can't catch that what is not in bounds, so they got to keep it in bounds on that break throw. It's a good idea, but the execution has to be better. Another turnover by Cooper Brotman. It's been a bit of a tough season for him. See if the Outlaws can get it back on defense.
New York, a quick throw. They get it. 9-5. And we have 30 seconds left here in the quarter.
Interesting turn of events. Ottawa gets this quick turnover on defense. They think that they're going to be rolling, but there's just an inopportune drop by Brotman on that play. And then as soon as the disc gets picked up, Owen Murphy, he's got lots of length and he's got a lot of confidence right now. And he just throws out to space. Jordan McGregor got beaten to the break side there, and a good run by Gary Dixon, who gets the goal. That's 4 assists for Owen Murphy so far. Good highlight now for someone that's in our screen here, number 87. Jeff Babbitt. He's an interesting guy. He's a former football player that had never really played Ultimate before converting to the New York Empire, and that's a huge, incredible step to take, to have only played like maybe a high school rec league and then switch from football. But he has an incredible body type. It's the athletes just keep getting better and better in the sport. And he's had a really good season statistically for the Empire this year. He
led the Empire in plus-minus, three goals and 3 Ds in the last game against Ottawa, so he has their number.
Typically, Ottawa has a bit of a problem with size, and Jeff Babbitt brings a lot of size and speed. So Ottawa's gonna have a bit of a problem with that. Although they have added some newer players that add some of that size and grit.
That one thrown out of bounds. So a little back and forth here again between Ottawa and New York. Ottawa with possession. 3 seconds left. The hammer in the end zone. Jumps up, and Ottawa not able to get it. The New York player grabs that one in the end zone.
Jeff Babbitt, we teed him up on that play. That was a good way to show his athleticism on that play. Just talking about him, speak of the devil. So great play by him.
So a good first quarter here by Ottawa, up 9-5. They're up 4 points in this one. Stick around, come back after the break for the second quarter here. New York Empire versus the Ottawa Outlaws.
Let's give Sam
This program is brought to you in part by Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. Gabriel Pizza, 310-7777, or GabrielPizza.com.
This program is brought to you by the Ottawa Sun, where real fans turn for sports news.
Welcome back. Brett Jewett here doing play-by-play alongside the voice of Ultimate in Ottawa, Steve Traynor. A good game so far, Steve. Very exciting. Ottawa up 9-5.
Yeah, it's been a very good start for the Ottawa Outlaws and the fan. There's a lot of fans here today, which is great, and they've really been witness to some good Ultimate here and some good flow from the Ottawa Outlaws. Seen quite a few players step up and have a good game, especially Andy Corey, who's off to a great start with 3 goals in that first quarter. And on the other side with the New York Empire, we have Owen Murphy, who's been quite strong today with 4 assists already, and he's looking to continue that strong play into the second quarter.
Into the wind. I think that is the best pull we've seen, the first pull of the second quarter. New York with possession. Oh, fakes out the defender. On the outside here, Ryan Drost, a big-time player for New York. New York dumps it back. No one going deep here yet. There we go. There's some separation. The disc is in the air a long time, but a bit too far for New York.
It looks like Josh Aloro's get up and go just sort of got up and went there. He wasn't able to chase that down. It was maybe he just didn't know it was coming. But one of the cool things to watch there was the one-on-one matchup between Alec Arsenault, who's the Ottawa's best defensive one-on-one guy, and Ryan Drost, who's the star player for the Empire. And Alec Arsenault definitely did a good job of playing man-to-man on that play.
The hammer doesn't get very far, though. Flicks it up to the middle. Ottawa again keeping that disc in the middle. Drost playing some tight D. That one, oh, a great grab there in the middle. Ottawa moving that one forward. Dumps it back. Somebody loses a hat there. Throws to the outside. It's still in the air. It drops right on the goal line.
Another tough drop there for Cooper Brotman, but not exactly an easy catch there. That was a tough break throw into the wind by Nick Boucher, and he gets it right back. Nick Boucher does.
So how about that? They try to huck it very deep, but turns it over. Ottawa grabs it.
It was a good play on transition. Ryan Drost had a different matchup than Alec Arsenault, and it punted it down so that Ottawa has to go a lot further. So it's better than turning it over your own end zone. I know what New York was trying to do on that play.
How frustrating is that for Ottawa too? They have the disc and they're doing a lot of short passes to move up the field. They get all the way, turn it over, and then the big huck to lose it.
That's all right. They've got a lot of confidence offensively right now. They're off to a great start. They'll make it'll be death by 1,000 cuts. They'll make 1,000 passes if they have to in order to get it up and score in the end zone, because that's the best way to do it.
I think their passing accuracy is around the 91% mark here this year, Ottawa. They call a timeout on that play.
Yeah, so both teams are really, really running hard on that play, but this point is almost going on 3 minutes of play clock time. And so Alec Arsenault made an educated decision to take a timeout there because both teams look gassed. If we look at recent streaks here, Ottawa's season record is 5-7. The game that got away last week, they led at halftime against New York, the team they had to beat to make the playoffs, and it didn't happen. Over the entire year, they're a minus 22 for goals for and against differential. Their O-line conversion rate is creeping up from previous numbers. It's at 61%. So 61% of the time that the O-line gets out there, they score. A team like first place Toronto is about 80%, 80% plus. Total conversion rate of 43%, so that means the D-line, when they do force turnovers, not exactly as high as the O-line, but that's kind of expected. On the New York side, 7-5 season record. They're going to the playoffs, baby. The comeback win last week versus Ottawa to clinch playoff was huge. Really revved up the fan base. When we talked to the New York team before the game, they are plus 39 goals for against in the differential. O-line conversion rate is 64%, and their total conversion rate is 44%. So they're a team that is sort of on the rise this year. They continue to get better. They've had good success against teams like Ottawa, but it really comes down to is can they beat second-place DC Breeze. They've had a couple of overtime games against them this year. DC has put a lot of time and effort and money into putting a good team forward this year. So that's the challenge for New York in the playoffs.
That one grabbed out of bounds.
Unfortunate, Andy Corey wasn't able to come up with that. And number 19, Ben Ivers, made sure it stayed out of bounds. They get to pick up the disc from the sideline.
Matt Lamar with it now on the sideline, looking for an open man. Gets that one a little forward. Coffer puts it towards the middle. New York rather dumps it back again, looking for an open man. They do. They see one. Not much separation in the end zone right now. And that one's dropped, turned over. New York drops it. Ottawa will take advantage. The big huck, but no one there. Absolutely no one there for that one.
Really, really disappointing turnover there for Matt Lamar, but then Ottawa gives it right back. They punt it deep there, and they're hoping that New York will have another turnover in near their end zone.
Mike Drost with the disc puts it in the middle. A big huck here. Goes all the way into the end zone. Oh, a big dive, and he drops it. Number 21, I believe it was, Ross Ward. He dives for it, an amazing dive. That was not a TV dive.
Oh, no, that was not a gratuitous dive at all.
There you go.
What an effort, and unfortunately the ground knocked the disc loose there. He's up against Leon Forsneau, who's very good in the air, and he wasn't able to get it. And, just a tough knock there for New York. Really good effort and a good extension on that play.
You said it exactly right, Steven. He had that in his hands, and when he hits the ground, drops it. So New York with it now, the dive. They hold on to it that time. Punts it afterwards.
Clark Coffer, who inadvertently threw one on the Ottawa side of the field during warm-ups and just went full Canadian saying, sorry, sorry, sorry. He gets a beautiful layout catch here. A nice throw by Drost out to space. And what a layout bid there, and keeps it up. The ref was right there to make the call, and the celebration.
Yeah, he was told there was a punt coming, right?
Yeah,
I think he got confused what was supposed to happen.
Exactly. That went about as far as some of the poles that have gone against the wind as well. So, but great grab by Clark Coffer and a good throw by number 16, Mike Drost. He's got 2 today.
The pull here from New York going into the wind.
So they're sneaking back into the game here. A 3-point game. We'll see what New York has. They might play a bit of a junk zone here, a little bit of man-to-man in the front and zone in the back to stop the big hucks from coming out, because Ottawa just has a lot of big throwers on the field right now, including number 8, Dave Jansen, that 40-plus-year-old wizard who just never seems to slow down, never seems to age.
A pretty good pull, makes it about to the 40-yard line. Moving up quickly, and that one's curving in, and Ottawa grabs it. Number 14, Mike Lee, with a goal. And is that his first goal today? Second assist? Or one assist, sorry. And
that's actually 2 goals for Mike Lee today. So the Mike Lee, you cannot stop him. You can only hope to contain him right now during this recent hot streak. But a great throw out to space from Bevan. It was a good break throw and a nice grab on Mike Lee, and he's done that all season. That's sort of one of his signature cuts. There, people know what he's going to do on, and that familiarity as a thrower who's looking for a receiver, it just makes it so much easier to throw to somebody when you know where they like to go, and you know that they can get open and stay open on that play. So good run on that play. He was covered very well by New York on that play, so there was a small little window in order to throw it, but. That's the youngster Jeff Bevan really kind of showing that he's got some sass there, and he's got some spunk. He's willing to throw the disc to where it needs to go.
Another decent pull, this time by Ottawa. New York with the possession, they dump it back.
They're so worried about Ryan Drost right now. They are literally giving him 20 feet of space so he can take the in.
Drost ran into his own player. Now separation, alone in the end zone. He grabs it, number 3, Josh Aloro. Aloro had a big game for New York last weekend as well. Contributed with 4 assists.
Great grab in the end zone by Aloro. Good run here. And here's the throw out by number 2, Sean Keegan, one of the key players on this team, young stars on this team. Aloro really runs it down, but on that play, as you said, Drost made the nice dump pass into the backfield, and he took off, and he knew he was wide open, wasn't being covered anybody. The only person that could stop him is his own teammate, and that was a heck of a bump there on that play.
That's exactly what happened.
Hopefully there's nothing, it wasn't a situation where either player got injured or collided on the head and stuff. So
he's on the bench right now, it looks like, right?
That's good, yes.
Yeah.
So New York is huddled together trying to come up with a defensive strategy here. I'm sure that they're going to just try and find a way to stop those hucks. And they did it on the last play. Unfortunately, they weren't able to stop those break throws. I don't know what they're going to do in order to stop Ottawa's throws. Ottawa's throwing very confidently into onto the break side consistently. They got to find a way to stop it.
Drost is on his feet on the bench, so that's good news. That one's thrown out of bounds.
some miscommunication in that throw from Bevan and Octorloni. The left hand didn't know what the right hand was doing on that play. Unfortunately, it led to the quick turnover.
We saw a significant injury on Rogers TV. It was Paul Renaud who went up high and kind of landed on his head. Had a third degree concussion. And a broken collarbone, unfortunately, but it was great to see him actually in the stands today, which was nice to see him back, and hopefully he'll be back in the lineup next season. Yeah, a lot of time to recuperate for him, and you're going to need it after concussions. As that one's hucked deep. Oh, no chance for Ottawa to get their hands on that one, though. Well, I love the fact that Jeff Bevan, who spent so much time waiting to get into the lineup, a lot of healthy scratches earlier this season. Now that he's got in there, he is not afraid to take chances and make throws. He's got some big throws there, and that was the right call to try and make that throw to Mike Lee. New York, a couple of quick flicks. They do it again. That one up high. 2 Ottawa defenders, and knocks that one down. Great job by Octorloni using his height against Jeff Babbitt. That's not an easy matchup, and he made the D. And now Octorloni throws it deep. That was number 14, Mike Lee. Only one man on him. Yeah, nice play by Drost there to play man-to-man defense on Mike Lee. New York has the disc at midfield. They dump it back. Number 12 open there. Throws his hands up, not sure what to do. Dumps it back again. New York can't find an open man. So it looks like Ottawa's just playing really, really hard defense in the lane and just challenging New York to throw to this break side over here, because the disc really hangs up in the air a lot when you throw over to the side. So they're really taking away the ends. Ross Ward has been alone a couple times, and there he is now, but can't get to it. Ross Ward was alone a few times, as we see the big huck here in the end zone, jumps up and grabs it. Tosses it on the ground, a bit of back and forth there. New York trying to mount something, and they lose the disc. A big point there for Ottawa, 11-7. Wow, what could have been the 10-8 game is now an 11-7 game. Big throw by Andy Octorloni. He gets the D. Andy Octorloni's been all over the stat sheet in ways. He's usually a guy that gets a lot of assists and goals, but today he's just been, with so many turnovers, he's been the go-to guy for defensive plays for the Outlaws. So he's filling up the stat sheet. He might be nearing his season total for Ds now. I think I've got him down for at least 3 so far in the game today, and he's got 3 assists as well. And a nice play by Jeff Bevan. As we were saying before, it took a long time for him to get in the lineup to earn the coach's trust. Now that he's there, he's not going to play scared. That's what you got to do when you find yourself on a roster so deep and talented as the Outlaws. That pull held up in the air a long time. Number 3 here, Josh Aloro, dumps it back. 5, Sam Taylor looking for an open man. He finds one. That's Drost. Drost dumps it back. The funny thing is despite the fact that the wind is very one-sided, pointing in one direction, the hardest thing to do is throw from side to side in the field. And that just leads itself very well to zone offense, or zone defense. Fakes out his man there. Falls over as he's trying to defend. So good to see Drost back on the field as well. Ottawa dumps it back, trying to set up some offense. They find someone in the middle here, but oh no, number 22, Alec Arsenault drops the disc. And New York mounting something quick. Number 80, he grabs it. That's Drost again. The Murphy to Drost connection, it's been going long and strong since the game started here. So just see an unfortunate turnover by Alex Arsenault. Was about 10 yards open, and quick pass from Keegan out to Murphy. He's got a really nice throw, and he is able to control it despite the fact that the wind is very strong at his back. That's a beautiful throw. Not much Bryce Ring can do on the transition there. As you see, a sign of a really good team is if they're able to, whenever the other team turns it over, pick up the disc,
make a couple of passes and throw a big huck in seconds, and that's what happened there. As soon as Arsenault turned it over, boom, 3 New York players touched the disc without even a defender on them, and that's what you need in order to score quickly on transition.
Good point. You have to be able to capitalize on the other team's mistakes, and they do. To pull within 3 points now. Ottawa's maintained around a 3 to 4 point lead in this one.
So one of the game within the game stories here is that
the hammer all the way deep in the end zone. He grabs it alone, number 87. Jeff Babbitt not able to catch up. And another point there to pull ahead 4 points, 12-8 Ottawa.
Great grab in the end zone by Andrew Octoloni and a great throw by Andy Corey, who's got throws on throws. The guy always had a great hammer in there. He shows it right there. Great throw.
How about the airtime on that one?
Beautiful throw.
Babbitt gives up.
What could Babbitt do? He's like, you know, sometimes you just got to shake the other guy's hand and say, good job. But another good throw by Andy Corey, who's off to a really good start today. 3 goals today and a big assist on that hammer huck down the field. But I was saying the game within the game, when you look at the stats for the Ottawa Outlaws, Derek Alexander and Kinley G, who are both not here in the lineup today, they handle, you know, roughly 60 to 70% of the touches on the offensive side for Ottawa so far this year. They've missed time, and they still touch it that much. Neither of them are in the game today, so a guy like Dave Jansen is being relied on to make that first pass, and like a defenseman in hockey that has that excellent first pass that kind of sets everything up, that's what Jansen's doing today.
New York with some quick throws. Drost dumps it back and moves forward. Another dump back here by New York. That's number 3, Josh Aloro. Oh, and holds on to it. Just about drops it. Number 77, Coffer with the butterfingers, throws it deep, and the D by Ottawa knocks it down. Number 89, Nick Boucher.
Nick, be quick on that play. Nice play by Nick Boucher. I'm still trying to get that nickname going for Nick. I think Nick the Quick is like the best nickname you could give a defensive player, but hasn't picked up yet. They just call him Bouche. It's just too good of a last name.
I'm sure it'll catch on eventually. Ottawa just at the start of their career in franchise terms, but doing a great job bringing out fans and putting an exciting product on the field. New York, holds on to that one as he dives to grab it. And all alone, did he hold on to it? He did. Number 77, Clark Kofer, as it stays right on the outside for the point.
Yeah, so they were playing with fire there on the sideline. It's I know all these guys are super talented and super athletic, but just because of the wind, it's really hard to throw in those 2 and 3 yard spaces on the sideline. Tough throw by Aloro, tough grab by Keegan, and then he throws it out to Coffer, who also, like, every play on that sideline was a layout grab in order to come up with it. So it's just really hard to get a lot of spin and get an accurate throw when you got such a small window on the sideline. The better play is to try and get into the middle of the field, but I think what New York is finding right now is Ottawa's smart enough to say, we know what's easier. We're going to give you the hard part, and then we're going to challenge on it. So they got to find a way to build up their confidence throwing sideline to sideline or throwing across the field, because that's a tough thing to do, and but it's necessary in order to give them some yardage upfield.
A big pull there by New York with just under 2 minutes left in the second quarter. The big huck. An Ottawa player is farther, just gets his hands on it, knocks it down.
Great play by Ross Ward. Andy Corey is feeling the confidence right now. He's playing really well today. He's got a big receiver who's known to be huge in the end zone, and Ward just runs force no down and gets that D.
Ward, great job by Ward to get his right hand just up there, knock the disc down.
I really like this call by New York. They want a chance to go out there and put out their offensive players here, and so they've in the professional game, when you call a timeout, you have the option of switching people out, which is not the case sort of in the amateur setting. So what New York's going to do here is get their best offensive players out on the field to play some offense here, and they know that they have to go up against the wind, so get the guys that have the best hands and are not going to turn the disc over. Conversely, the Outlaws, as soon as they saw that, they made the switch and got their some of the better defensive players out there. So Harrison Swartzer, we've got Scott Westwell, Luke Phelan, and Alec Arsenault are all on the field here on the substitution.
And this is big, down 3 points here right now in New York in this game. We've already mentioned they've been around that 3 or 4 point deficits already.
So in terms of spotlight on key players, the Ottawa Outlaws, we've got Mike Lee. He's been sensational in the last 6 games. He was always really good before that, but he's really taken it to a different level. Nick, the quick Boucher, who's been their defensive leader and leads the team Ds. And Scott Westwell, who really, as a veteran, really was struggling to get a lot of play time and break through with some plays, and he had 3 Ds last week and really seems to be playing with a lot of confidence. On the New York side, we've got the Drost brothers. Drost is in Lost. That's how they wanted to be pronounced. Identical twins that are just leading the team on the stats sheet, and they're just good players. And Josh Aloros had a bit of a tough start today dealing with the wind, but he's somebody that the Drost brothers really love playing with, and they really rely on him offensively.
So New York, with a minute now left in the second quarter, moving the disc up quickly. They're on the far side. Dump it back. Dump it back again. Now just past the midfield. Field. Oh, Drost jumps up and grabs it.
Highly athletic play there.
But dumps it back again. I mean, they're gaining some position, but losing it pretty quickly. There's nobody there to grab that one.
Boy, Lauro wants that one back. He saw Drost going, and if the wind wasn't a factor, that gets caught really easily, but you just cannot finesse it into the wind. It's got to be hitting wide open guys coming back at you.
So Ottawa doing the same thing here now, calling the timeout.
Yeah.
18 seconds left in the half here.
So while we're doing the timeout here, we'll look at Canada. So recent Worlds participants from London, England, who brought home medals to Canada. So we have Colin Green, one of my favorite guys. He brought home a silver medal as one of the captains of the Masters over 30 team for Team Canada. His teammate Dave Jansen was also a stalwart on that team. He played exceptionally well over there. He got a silver. And Matt Hogle as well, who was scheduled to be in the lineup tonight. He was on that team and brought home a silver medal as well. He's been a long-running outlaw player. Harrison Swartzer, we haven't seen very much for the Outlaws today. This season. He's playing today and playing quite well. He had a bronze with the mixed team for Canada, and Keelan Way also took home a bronze medal. He's been one of the best players on the Outlaws the past 2 seasons. So congratulations to those players who came to London and represented Canada so well and did a great job of playing for Canada.
That's wonderful. A great representation from this Ottawa club at the world level.
Yeah, it's a real privilege for these guys, and it's very meaningful, especially the guys that are playing the Masters level. The game, as we said, is very young. It's very unforgiving on the legs and the knees, whatever. The friends you make and the experiences you have playing at the highest levels are exceptional. And when you get the chance to represent Canada, not everybody has the ability to do that. So if you get it, you should take that opportunity. You should do the best you can with it. And bringing home a medal sure does feel nice, and it's a great conversation starter for friends and family.
Ottawa now with 20 seconds left in the half. The big huck here. It goes deep, not quite in the end zone, though. A lot of defenders. There's some incidental contact. And Ottawa will lose possession. There's Drost. Not a lot of time. That one hucked deep. Did he catch that one, though? It looked like it hit the ground. And that'll be the end of the first half. Ottawa, how about that? The 12-9 lead right now, another 3-point lead, just like last game. We'll see if they can maybe have a different outcome in the third quarter coming up.
That's right. I mean, what a good start to the game. And although the funny thing is, I feel like Ottawa has played so well in this first half, but it's only a 3-point game. So, we'll have to see what both teams talk about and strategize in at the halftime. I think Ottawa really has got to pat themselves on the back for shutting down Drost. Both of the identical twins, they've really kept them off the scoreboard a lot. Owen Murphy's been a real factor for the Empire. He's had a lot of assists so far. And on the Outlaws, it's been balanced scoring and balanced production. So we'll have to see if they can continue to have those guys step up and play so well and do it by committee.
Long, thoughtful answers, okay?
So there's our hitters. All right, you guys ready? Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention. I don't want you to take a sponge ball in the head.
Sorry, we'll head down on the field now. Yitka is ready with head coach of Ottawa, John Haig, to talk about the first half.
Hey John, close game, but the Outlaws have the edge. What's going right for your team today?
I think our defensive pressure has been really strong. We've been able to get the disc for them again, and our D-line especially has been executing our upwind offense really well. It's really tough out here with this wind, but we've been able to score a few upwind, which has been huge for us.
Exactly. The wind has been very, very strong. Have you done anything special to compensate?
I think, we just like to take our deep shots a little more liberally than we normally would because, it's hard to complete passes, so we might as well try for the long ones.
You have a few key players out of the lineup today. What have you been doing to compensate for their loss?
It's tough. We've got a bunch of guys representing Team Canada this summer who couldn't be here with us today because of that. But our role players have really stepped up for us, really filled some really big shoes, and we're definitely proud of the contributions maybe some of our less-known guys are making on the big stage.
What do you think you need to do to close this out today?
I think we should have to keep the defensive pressure. As long as we keep our defense strong, we'll keep getting that disc. We'll get chances for breaks. 1 or 2 more breaks in this third quarter should hopefully put this away.
Tough loss last week and missing out on the playoffs this year. What have you done to refocus the team for the rest of the season?
It wasn't that hard. These guys are really excited to come out here and beat New York. We haven't beat New York this year, and we didn't beat them last year, so guys are definitely excited to hopefully try and get that first win against New York, so motivation wasn't an issue today.
Thank you very much. Now back to the guys in the booth.
Thank you very much, Yitka. That was John Haig talking about the defense. Going to have to keep the defense on in the second half of the game.
That's right. So John had a lot of great points about the role players stepping up and playing well for the team. And on offense, we've seen Mike Lee kind of step up and become a force. Mike Lee is the only remaining member of the original starting offensive line. So 6 of the 7 guys are out of the lineup tonight, and Mike and the other players that have replaced those players have kind of stepped in and done it, done a great job of playing offense. Defense, it's been by committee, lots of great plays across the board.
All right, the 12-9 lead so far. Stick around. Up next on Rogers TV, the second half of the game here at MNP Park.
Such abundance everywhere you look, everything from the landscape to the river to the rocks to the sound of the rapids. We have a very beautiful life here in Ottawa.
Welcome back, MNP Park at the beautiful Carleton University campus. 12-9 your score. Your Ottawa Outlaws leading this one up again 3 points, just like they were last game against the Empire, looking for a different outcome this time. Brett Jewett up in the booth alongside Steve Traynor. It's been a great game so far. A lot of good highlights in this one so far. Why don't you tell us about those?
Well, it has been a great game, and I think the fans, there's a lot of fans out here today. They've been very happy with the way Ottawa has played. I know that New York, after last week, could say, we got them right where we want them. But Ottawa has to feel really good about the way that they played, and it's just a perfect game. Other than the weather, the wind being so strong, it's been perfect weather, perfect sunshine. So we'll see what both teams come out with. Probably there'll be some strategy and some extra zones used on the defensive side for both teams.
Yeah, the coaches talked about it maybe being a lower scoring game because of the wind. I mean, it's been pretty good so far. So watching some of the games so far, the hope for this team obviously was to make the playoffs at the start of the season. It didn't happen. They're 5-7 or 5 wins for them, 7 losses so far. But how has maybe the playing time allocation changed so far since? I mean, they're not going to be able to make the playoffs now.
Well, at the start of the season, I think what you do is you have these veteran players that have proven that they can win over the years at the club level, at the international and national level. And so those people needed to get their chance to play. And it didn't work for whatever reason, whether it be injuries or just bad luck or whatever. It just didn't work. So we got to give some credit to John Haig and the coaching staff, who basically have been paying very careful attention to who's been playing well and who hasn't been, and what's needed in order to become a more effective team. And the youth has been served better in the second half. I feel that they're playing more and they're actually getting some results defensively, and that's a really hard skill to be able to replicate. So if you can get some young players that can go out and create Ds, your team has a better chance of winning, and I think that they've done that this year.
That's great. And so, as we said, a good game so far. Nice back and forth. Ottawa in the lead. Let's take a look at some highlights from this one.
Yeah, so the first half seemed like it was all Ottawa. New York stayed close, but Ottawa just had a lot of plays. We had Owen Murphy, who was just a really strong player, scoring 4 assists out of the 5 goals that Ottawa scored. But Andy Ochterlony and some of the veterans really proved that they still have got it. Nick Boucher was very good on defense, and he made a beautiful throw into the wind. Very hard to do today, as we've seen. And he also caught in the end zone. And Mike Lee, the guy that we featured, was all over the place. Even when he wasn't scoring, he was making it look good. And the Dross brothers were very, very strong, throwing into the wind, making grabs, just generally keeping the Ottawa defense honest. And there's some big catches by Andy Corey here. It was really very good on the score sheet. And when people like Paul Mensah or Colin Green were getting into the game, they were actually showing that they're very, very capable players for Ottawa. So good team effort, and players like Jeff Bevan will be looking to continue to get extra play time and really show what they can do leading into next year's season, which will hopefully be Ottawa's first playoff push.
Ottawa on pace with 12 points currently to keep up that high-scoring offense in the second half. We'll see that after the break. Stay tuned on Rogers TV.
Play 4 games of bingo from the comfort of your own home each Monday at 7 p.m. for your chance to win money from our $2,000 regular bingo or $5,000 super bingo night. Kiwanis TV Bingo, Mondays at 7 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Yeah. Public.
Welcome back to MNP Park. Brett Jewett here alongside Stephen Traynor. 12-9 the score. Getting ready for some second half action. Let's go down right now to Yitka Traynor on the field with New York head coach Joel Pitney.
Tight game. What does your team need to do to get back in this?
Well, to be honest, it's an issue of focus. It's very windy conditions out here, and it's up to the team that makes the least mistakes.
Exactly. The wind is very strong today. How do you think that's impacted the play of both teams today?
Well, it's made it so whoever can score upwind really has a serious advantage. Those breaks mean a lot more upwind than they do on a normal day, and so far Ottawa's gotten the best of us, but we've got a whole second half. So
a long trip here from New York. Do you have a different strategy when you're on the road?
No, we're all, it's pretty much always the same. We go out there, they call us the faceless mob, because we go out there and we play as a team more than any individual, and we try to keep to that no matter where we are.
So you're coming off a huge win last week against Ottawa to clinch a playoff berth. What is your team looking forward to the most in the playoffs?
Well, we've played DC, who's we're playing in the first round, 3 times this season. We've lost to them twice in triple overtime, sudden death, and once at the buzzer. So we feel like we owe them a victory this time.
It's been a great season. What are you most proud of in this team this year?
The character of the guys and the togetherness more than anything else. I mean, it's a great group of guys. They play really hard, and they stick together through everything. So that's what I'm most proud of.
Thank you. And now back to Stephen and Brett upstairs.
Thank you very much, Yitka, talking about how hard his club has worked this season, the character of the guys out there, and they're going to have to grab some of that character to eliminate this 3-point deficit right now.
Well, you know, I haven't had the chance to meet Coach Pitney before today's game, but I got to say, I'm really impressed by just how calm and cool and collected he is.
Yeah, we were talking about that before. Yeah. I completely agree.
Yeah, he's just win, lose, or tie. He's very, very calm and cool and stuff. And what he's saying is right. I mean, this game is within their grasp, and they need to have a chance to play well. And then to do that, they have to make smart plays, and they have to fight this wind that's been an issue for them.
Yeah, taking advantage, as I said, when they're going into the wind, when they have that disc, they're really going to have to take advantage of those opportunities.
That's right, and they've had a lot of uncharacteristic turnovers, as has Ottawa. You know, they're just people. You know, you got this big crowd today. The sun is shining. Everyone wants to play really well, but they need to just cut down on that. And with a 3-point deficit and the talent that they have, Keegan, Alaro, the Drosts, Babbitt, and Murphy, they've got a lot of guys that they can put out there. They can get the job done here. So on the Ottawa side, they played a really good half. They should feel better. They should probably feel that they should be a little bit further ahead, but what's done is done, and they need to continue to play as well as they did in the first half.
Here is the opening pull for the second half. Makes it pretty deep, almost to the 30-yard line. Ottawa with possession. Quick cut to the outside. That's Lee. Gets it forward over the head of his offensive player, though, and in the hands of a New York defender. Dumps it back. Number 12, Matt Lamar. Oh, a dive and a grab. Number 19, Ben Ivers. Fakes the hammer, looking for somebody open, running out of time here. Does the hammer, and I don't know what was going on there.
That was just a running out of time hammer over the top to somebody, hoping for something. That's why you got to be really proactive getting the disc off the line.
A big huck here from Ottawa, deep in the end zone. It looks like he's got lots of time. He does. Grabs it, the point for Ottawa. They get the first point of the half here. And up 13-9 now to regain that 4-point lead. A great start.
Well, it's the Toronto Goat Club connection here. So Andy Octorloni, who is a long-time Toronto resident and a superstar player in Toronto with Goat, he actually had the chance to play with Andy Corey, who was from Toronto originally, but went up to school here in Carleton in Ottawa. And he played so well that even though, despite the fact that he continued to live in Ottawa, he played for the Toronto Goat team. Before Professional Ultimate came, and Andy made the switch over full-time to Ottawa and Ottawa's clubs. And they just have a familiarity with one another. So when Octorloni puts it up there, he has complete confidence in Andy Corey coming. And Andy Corey's got to love this. I mean, he's been playing defense for the last 2 years, been playing nothing but defense. And sometimes when you're a defensive player, even as one of the best ones, you can go through the whole game, play 20 points, and touch the disc 4 times. All right? Now he's playing offensive points here in this game with all the offensive players out of the lineup, and he's scoring points, getting assists, and he looks great out there. So good on him.
Now, how about that pull? Didn't go very deep. Hit probably just past the 50-yard line and then rolled all the way to the 30. There's Drost with it on the outside. The hammer in the end zone, all alone there. In the end zone, another point for New York. They get it back quickly, 13-10.
Well, very nice throw there by Drost with the wind at his back, and a good catch by Keegan. It's good to see Keegan get on the score sheet. He did not score in the first half, and Drost before the game was saying that they really look at him as kind of a game changer, a fire starter for their offense. And nice grab. Not as easy as it looks to catch that thing with the wind and the sun and stuff. So nice job by Keegan to get in the game, and it looks like his body language is a little bit elevated after that tough first half. So watch him to be sort of a factor as we move forward in the second half.
Yeah, it seemed like Keegan was more controlling the disc in the backfield for his team, trying to set up some of the plays, but there on that one creates his own point. A good pull all the way back to the 25-yard line. Ottawa moving quick. A huck here. Two New York defenders behind him. But doesn't matter. He's ahead. He grabs that one, Corey. That was Lee with the point.
Mike Lee getting back into the action. He started off the game hot there, and then he kind of got quiet for a bit, but it's all coming from Andy Corey. Look at this big huck out to space, and everybody else is just caught chasing after it. Mike Lee's got 2 guys in his vicinity trying to shut him down, and that thing was thrown on a rope out to space by Andy Corey. And this is the best I've seen Andy Corey play all season long. I know that he's a defensive stalwart and usually has wonderful pulls from one end zone to the other, but he's really making a difference offensively there. He's throwing 50, 60 yards down the field. He's making grabs. He's playing some good defense. Good game for him.
We've seen him so many times. This one looked like it's going to roll out. It does roll out of bounds. The ref had to get out of the way of that one. And Corey, we've seen him so many times in this game, probably the player of the game so far for his team. What does he have, about 2 assists and maybe 4 or so goals?
Yeah, Corey's been very good. I don't want to jinx him so far, but he's definitely played quite good. Here's a throw out to space.
Oh, out of the hands, knocked down, and Ottawa will take possession.
Harrison Swartz made a really, really nice play here. Wow, that's just that pure athleticism there. Number 4 on the umpires is just disappointing. He didn't get a chance to grab in the end zone.
The big huck. Ottawa grabs it, but not in the end zone. Looking for someone open. It gets knocked over. That was awkward. Face plants as they made connection with the feet.
Great play by Matt O'Brien there. He ran that down and caught the hook. I think he'd like the other guy to buy him dinner first before so much physical contact. It just it just looked like they must have caught knees there. He just lost his footing and went down there.
That looked weird. I didn't see it on the replay exactly what happened.
Yeah. Maybe it was just a case where he tried to avoid the player and caught down. Hopefully it's not an injury issue, because when he went down there, it looked like there was a little bit more collision than what we could see on the replay. Timeout called by the on the field, which means that and here we see over here Canada Day weekend, and we have the support of the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, who was in his hometown of Montreal, and met one of the Montreal Royale players in the AUDL, and he signed the disc and said, "For my friends of the Royal, keep spinning, Justin Trudeau." Little known fact that our Prime Minister, not only being a huge boxer and a sports fan, he actually was a high school ultimate coach during his time in BC. So he still has maintained a love and a passion for the game, and you know, if you're around Parliament Hill, you always want to go on the hill to see if Justin decides that when he does get a chance for a break, if he's out there chucking the disc around, because he's a big fan. And we'd like to think that as big of a fan he is of the Montreal Royal, he'll come to love the Ottawa Outlaws just a little bit more.
So you heard it from Stephen Traynor. If you're going to Ottawa Hill, bring your disc with you. You never know.
You never know when the Prime Minister's going to want to play some pickup. Ottawa's got the disc in the hands of Dave Jansen, who's just a fantastic and experienced thrower. They need him to punch this in for a quick score.
So before the timeout, we saw the big huck. Does he grab it there? There it is. He gets the score. We saw the big huck, got the disc just before the end zone, was knocked down, called the timeout, and then back in action, one throw, and gets the point. Ottawa to bowl ahead 15-10.
Another Toronto GOAT connection. Guys that have played together on the offensive line for Toronto GOAT for many, many, many years, the club level, playing internationally. Dave Jansen and Andy Octerlone, no strangers to one another, and they do it once again. They do a great job of making sure that they score on that play. That's the kind of play with the score the way it is. If they don't connect on that, and New York pipes it down the field, they either score again or they force Ottawa to come all the way back up the field against the wind. So it's better just to get that goal and get the spread going. So now we have a 5-point game when it was, New York had made it a 2-point game at one point.
Good point. And we haven't seen many throws this way. We've seen so many throws the other way so far today, and that was a good one. Oh, Drost gets his fingertips on it and just goes over top. Turns it over. Ottawa with possession. A good spot for them. This is when you want to convert. That one goes outside. Drost gets his hand on it. Oh, Drost not happy. Bats it out of the way. There you go. They give the the handshake afterwards.
Fantastic play by Alec Arsenault and a way to de-escalate that situation. He had a celebration with the disc that inadvertently went towards Drost, and he immediately went over and apologized. Good throw by Cooper Brotman here, not scared. You know, he is thrown to a guy who's very covered by Drost. I mean, just within inches of getting the D on that play. And we see the play here. He just goes to bat it out, inadvertently hits it, and then realizes, oh my goodness, that's not good spirit. So he walks over and just classy play by Alec and wait for Drost to kind of, you know, who was originally not very happy with that celebration to understand that it was an honest mistake.
Well, not very happy with himself either. I mean, that's a tough, near impossible play, but just about to get his hands on it and try to grab it.
When you get that close to it, you really want the disc, right? Because it, you know, almost you know, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
So Ottawa takes advantage, 16-10. This is the biggest lead we've seen in this game. Unbelievable, up 6 points against a very good New York club.
And if you're John Haig and the coaching staff of Ottawa, you got to feel so relieved that the game's not over by any stretch of the imagination. New York's just too good and too high-powered to count out. But you got to be so happy that you went into the halftime up by 3 and you built on that lead rather than let them get right back into the game.
Contact there called against Ottawa. They move the disc forward. Drost grabs it in the end zone. A quick one. 16-11 the score. We talk about how well Ottawa's playing in this game so far. I mean, to set things up, New York, again, is a club that's made the playoffs. They were 7-5 coming into this game. Ottawa 5-7. They won the game that they needed to, did New York, in their last game against Ottawa. So not playing necessarily to just playing for pride at this point, really.
Yeah, playing for pride at this point, but also the fact that they're building something here, right? They are building a fan base. They're building, and it's a beautiful day on Canada Day weekend. There's no reason that they don't have their best players out here. And kudos to the Empire. They've locked up a playoff spot, and they've got every single key player, with the exception of maybe one, Taylor Brooks, who's in the lineup and made the trip up here. So they are not taking this lightly. They know they have a big game against Toronto, a future playoff opponent tomorrow, and no one's taking any days off here. Everyone's come to play and give the fans a really good game.
Ottawa with the disc again, controlling it at midfield. The short pass. Lee has it, flicks it deep, and nowhere close to anyone. There's Corey again.
So it's really good that this, you know, scoring by committee has happened, because Lee has kind of, whether it be defensive set, you know, matchups or whatever, he's kind of not been as dominant as in previous games, and the rest of the team has stepped up, and it's good to see for Ottawa.
And as you've talked about a few times now, Stephen, New York with the disc, and they're going to have to fight the win going upfield. A tough battle for them.
This would definitely explain why they were throwing the break underneath backhand all warm-up long, because they knew it was going to be an issue. So good on Coach Pitney to understand what they were going to have to do. It's just come down to a matter of execution at this point.
Both players getting their hands on it there. The New York player, number 19, Ben Ivers, not very happy. He thought there was some contact. Big huck here by Ottawa. Looks like, yeah, it was too short. He was going deep to get that one, but grabs it underneath him. New York, and now they take possession. There's the other Drost brother, Mike.
So New York will retain possession if we back up.
So something called here.
Looks like it might have been.
Has to go back to Mike though.
Looks like it might have been a pick call on that play.
Okay.
That's what caused for the 10-yard loss on that play.
So New York losing a bit of field advantage. There's Drost on the outside, looking for an open man. He sees one to his brother, deep. Oh, wow.
What a great throw into the wind.
Thrown really low, curves around the Ottawa player, and a great grab.
What a great throw into space here. So Sibling, identical twin pass there, and then Drost throws a great flick into a really, really tough win to number 21, Ross Ward, who got his first catch of the day. And poor Ross Ward, you got to be happy for him. This guy has been laying out all day, and that's his first goal. I mean, he had one in the end zone there that he just got so close on. He already has a D already in the game, too, so that's got to feel good for him. What a throw into space.
Didn't look like much. Now, is that one of those ones where you call an airbender, where it looked so low at first and just kept rising?
Yeah, and it actually, you know, the way he curved it there, he just basically cut right into the wind. So the amount of torque from the wrist and the spin that he had to have in order to make that happen with this wind that's pretty impressive. I can understand why Drost is one of the team leaders in offensive and defensive categories.
Big throw there. Oh. On his back, Alec Arsenault is still trying to dive for the disc. So New York takes possession again. They're trying to claw back into this one. They were down by 6, currently down by 4, and they have possession, but it's, oh, good D. Good D, he's down. I don't think there'll be a call on this play, though.
Ian Guerin on that play, and I don't know what the call is. There seems to be some discussion, which is very unusual for the professional game. Usually the referees just have the call made and they move quickly. It looks like Ottawa's going to take the possession on that play.
All right, so Ottawa with it, number 14 there, Mike Lee. Oh, throws it away.
The big thing with this wind is when you try to throw a backhand over to the forehand side, it's really tough for the receivers to catch it, and that's what led to the Mike Lee turnover there.
Another huck deep, but no chance for Jeff Babbitt. That one goes well beyond his reach.
Good news for New York on that is at least they punted it into the end zone with the wind at their back, so they're going to make it tough for Ottawa to move it up the field.
Nice hands by number 3, Westwell. Hits his fingertips, drops down, and still holds on to it. Westwell curves that one around the outside. Oh, Ottawa maintains possession. Slowly moving this one. Not getting very far on these throws, throwing into the wind again. There, wide open, number 21, Colin Froats. Staying on that outside, there's number 8, David Jansen.
Guerin with his revenge on that play. So he got bumped by DJ on an earlier play, and when DJ went to catch the disc, Guerin didn't stop as fast as maybe he could have on that play.
Jansen again with the flick to midfield. Another flick outside. Oh,
what?
I don't know if the defender got his hands on that, did he?
Looks like it. I can't wait to see the replay on that. What a play. Ben Ivers on that play.
Here you see it.
Oh, man, he was I don't know if he touched it, but wow, what a great play, a great layout on that. Great timing by Ben Ivers.
That's tough to see. He must have, because who was that? Number 14. Was that Mike Lee?
That's right. Mike Lee, who's extremely difficult to guard, so he stayed with him and got the play. The DJ Guerin matchup continues with a foul call on DJ there, and Guerin takes it on the line, but then quickly turns it right over to Russ Nichols.
Good D by Ottawa. They'll take possession. Again, throwing into the wind, number 22, Alec Arsenault. Dumps it back. Good throw, fake the flick, but then finally gets it off. Some contact at his feet there. Oh, here's the huck into the end zone. He gets it, a touch. He gets the point there.
Wow, Andy Corey, he looks like he's limping a little bit after that play, but he scores his 5th goal of the game so far. And what a big throw here from Russ Nichols, who he had nothing in the backfield. Good team defense by New York. That was a throw it deep to the one guy who I have a chance to get it to. And I don't know how Andy got that open on that play, but he ran down the sideline. Very narrow quarter for Nichols to throw into, and Nichols made no mistake about it. So good throw by Nichols on that play.
Corey, once again, been huge for his team so far. He'll go off, take a little breather.
Yeah, he's sucking dirty pond water. That was he's pretty tired, and I think fairly, because he's one of those guys, and when Ottawa turns the disc over, he has the tough matchups. He has to face the Babbitts. He has to face the guys that want to run deep and run long early and often. So it's a treat for him to get to play offense so much today. It's just there's been a lot of turnovers, which has forced him to play defense even when he starts out on the offensive line.
A big pull there by Ottawa. That's the highest one we've seen so far. It did not go very deep. The ref grabs it. Now, why did that happen?
I think it just prevent it from going further out to the road. That thing was ridiculously thrown in the air. Nice. Definitely had a lot of hang time.
Oh, Drost immediately getting in the face of Keegan. Did I hear that right on sportsmanlike conduct?
That's right. I think Drost is just being doing what good team leaders do. They're trying to get Keegan to stay within himself and get back to the business of playing ultimate rather than focus on the rough stuff.
So New York with possession, starting all over again. Fakes the backhand, gets it off to number 3, Aloro. Aloro looking to dump it back. He does. But even the dumps are tough right now here for New York.
This is good defense by Ottawa. They should be happy with this. When they go back and look at this this tape, they'll be happy with the way they played. Really tough here. Can't allow these easy dumps into the back. They got to play tight all the time, force tough throws.
That's tough for New York. Moves it forward. Drost with it now. But, I mean, the 3 dumps, I believe, in a row there to go right back to the starting line.
That's right. Well, this is the defensive line for the Outlaws. These are some of the most athletic guys on the team, the game breakers. They're out there for the purposes of D, and they're showing it right now. Some really good defense.
Oh, the D knocks it down. Number 89, Boucher. A big huck in the end zone. He grabs it with one hand. Jumps up high. Number 0, Schwartzer.
What a grab by Harrison Schwartzer. Wow, nice work on that play. Bryce Ring hasn't had a chance to play much this year, but really steps up. He's got a lot of confidence with Harrison. He puts it up there. Hotly contested by Gary Dixon on that play. Good sportsmanship by both teams there. That's what we love to see. That's the beauty of this game, man. We hope that never leaves the sport. You know, that's sort of respect and spirit, even whenever you're out there playing some man-to-man, person-to-person hard defense. You gotta respect your opponent and you know, just give people credit when they make great plays like that.
Yeah, and you see that so much at the amateur level. I mean, not a lot of refs. They're calling their own games. They're calling the fouls on themselves a lot of time. And as you said, you like to see that kind of that stay in the sport and maintain itself at the professional level.
I personally love the idea of observers and refs because it does give both teams a bit of security. But the thing about it is, if you have refs all the time, what happens is people they forget that they have a responsibility to play with a certain spirit and certain dignity, right? So I think when you're playing in league and you're playing at the club at the amateur level, you got to remember that you don't cheat so that others won't cheat against you. I mean, it's pretty straightforward and a fair rule, and I think everyone can and should abide by that.
And it probably helps a lot that these guys aren't just playing professional games, as that one's thrown deep but out of the reach of everybody. It helps that they're not only playing at the professional level, but these guys are also playing a lot of amateur games, you know, when they're not playing these games on the weekend. So they're playing with in games where there's not a lot of refs as well, so they're going to have to make their own calls.
That's right. This season, the professional season goes from April to July or early August.
There, knocked off twice.
And so whenever they are not playing that, they're focused on the club series, which happens in the fall. The U.S. Championships, which is open to Canadian teams, is hosted in the fall. And so there's a qualification system and all that other stuff, and it's all done on an amateur basis with national federations and stuff. So all those games would be, at best, they would have observers who are sort of passive referees that are only brought in whenever there's a major dispute.
There is the end of the third quarter, 18-12. Your score right now, up by 6 at M&P Park. The Ottawa Outlaws leading this one. We'll see you back here after the break.
No makeup, no clothes. Deja vu.
We're back at M&P Park. The Ottawa Outlaws leading this one 18-12. Want to mention quickly a soccer game after this one at 7 p.m. It's the Ottawa Fury versus the New York Cosmos. Tyler McDonald and Gordon Smith calling that one, so be sure to stick around after this game. It's a good one you see here. Let's take a look at the highlights already in the third quarter.
Well, we saw some of the KG veterans of the Ottawa Outlaws, Andy Octorloni, Andy Corey, and Dave Jansen really step up, and Ottawa was able to double their lead. And to be quite fair, although New York did have some great moments, Ottawa seemed to double the productivity and double sort of the effort that was in that second half. You know, just some really good examples of spirit and hustle by both teams. Dross brothers were pretty good in terms of finding their players and moving the disc up the field, and Ottawa did eke out a bigger lead after that quarter, and will look to finish up in this fourth quarter with a strong showing.
The opening poll of the fourth quarter, about the same as we've seen so far going into the wind in this one.
I think the frustration for the Empires started to hit there. They're a little frustrated that they're down by 6 right now, and you see Murphy there. He wasn't happy about that foul. And they need to stay focused, as Dross, as their team leader, has been trying to get them to do, and just focus on what they have to do here in order to make a comeback in the fourth quarter.
Oloro and Taylor passing that one back and forth. That one low, no chance for loss there. He throws that one deep down the side, Keegan, but Drost well out of his reach.
Without tail force wins there, that pass gets completed there. So it's unfortunate for New York, but they have it punted into Ottawa's end zone, so they need to force D and have a chance to score quickly here.
Westwell fakes the hammer, dumps it back. Ottawa out of their end zone. And as we've seen so many times today, with both Ottawa and New York having to move upfield into this wind, a tough go for them. Nick Boucher dumps it back. Westwell looking to the outside, makes that connection. Phelan with the pass, 22. Alex Arsenault not able to make contact. The deep puck here, and Drost jumps up. Oh, probably, I don't know, a foot too high for him.
Yeah, disappointment for him on that play for sure. He's such a strong player, and he really had the spacing there. Josh Aloros just really fought it today. He's usually an extremely strong player for them. He just misread it. I mean, it happens all the time. If he had it continued, he didn't know how much. It's a new facility for him. He didn't know how much space he had. Just a premature jump there.
You're exactly right. He slowed up as it was coming down. He thought it was going to, but that disc just stayed in the air. And as he jumped, well out of his reach. Drost with it now on the outside. Big throw. Curves in. Wow, what a great throw to number 3, Oloro. Right on him.
What a great pass by Ryan Drost, his second assist of the second half, and a good goal for Josh Aloro, who has been pretty quiet today. That's his second goal. He doesn't have any assists yet. And just a good throw out the space here by Drost.
And Drost visibly very emotional after making that connection.
I mean, these guys are gamers. I mean, you don't make it out of New York without being a little bit tough, and these guys definitely expected to continue their win streak. They've won 2 games against Ottawa, and they've been able to win when the game is tight. I will say this, we've got the score of 18-13 here. It's a 5-point game. New York still has a chance in this, but Coach Pitney, who's just wonderfully well-spoken, I'm sure he's on the sideline saying, guys, when we go out there, we cannot have 6 turnovers anymore because we are in a race, not only against the Ottawa Outlaws, we are in a race against that clock. 3 minutes went off during that point. You got to score quicker than that.
Yeah, and we've seen so many turnovers, especially early on in this game. Ottawa trying to slow things down as much as possible. Throws that one over top. Keeps it in the middle, looking outside. Number 74, Russ Nichols. Keeps it on the outside. That's number 8, David Jansen. Oh, and he makes it. The quick, very quick throw in the middle. Makes the connection. What a grab.
We almost had ESPN highlight right there with Jeff Babbitt. Did you see that defensive play? Now, that was a bait. That's what we call a bait. He sat there. He knew what that was going to happen, and he tried to bait that throw. And unfortunately, Dave Jansen is a very good thrower of a Frisbee, and he managed to sneak it in there with some great spin. Look at this. Bait. Whoa.
Right through him.
Oh, my goodness. He almost had it. But luckily for Ottawa and the home fans, the point was done. And luckily for both teams, no one got hurt in that because that bait, it could have been a collision or whatever. But unfortunately, just a good defensive play. It goes for naught for New York and a good score for the Ottawa Outlaws.
And you see Babbitt there absolutely pound the ground. All those little black plastic beads just bounce up so high. He was so upset. More emotion shown from this New York club.
Yeah, if we thought that New York didn't want this game, we are very, very wrong on that because they have definitely shown a lot of emotion today and a lot of pride to play as well as they can on the road here.
Nice quick throws down the left side of the field. That's Drost. He threw it forward. It goes back to him now with the dump. Forward again, looking for one person to be open there. Number 3, Aloro is. He grabs it.
Well, they got to play. New York has to play Toronto tomorrow, and they would like to be able to have, sort of have a lot of positive going in here. So we've got number 25 here, Sam Taylor. Nice throw, really tight there, and some good defense by Matt O'Brien. Like, there is not much room to make that throw, and they still got it in there. But if you're the Outlaws and you're the defensive coordinator for the Outlaws, you're going to be telling your players, hey, look, if we can force them to make those tough guarded throws on the sidelines, let's keep doing that because, we've seen them. We've seen the turnovers that it's led to so far in the game, and we're going to get more turnovers like that if we can continue to play.
I talked to Hag before the game about the defense so far this year, and you've mentioned it already. They've played so well defensively in this game.
Yeah, and the big thing is they waited a long time before they could get their opponent. Not only did they score a lot of points, Ottawa, and they usually score over 20 points, which is a very high average, but they were also giving up a lot of points as well. So they played sort of a Phoenix Suns of the last decade, sort of high up-tempo game or whatever. And that's great, but if you want to be a playoff contender, you got to play good defense. Here's a big throw to Dave Jansen.
Oh, Jansen grabs it. Nice throw there by Ottawa.
I love it when the quarterback handler becomes the deep receiver. I love it. It's like the pitch play in football. Jansen dumps the disc off, goes deep. Mike Lee finds him, and his defender is just kicking himself a little bit there saying, how did we not know this guy was deep? It's because they haven't seen him all game in that vicinity, but Dave gets down there and he makes a nice grab. Fans love it.
It's like in baseball when you got the big guy on first base and you know he's not going to steal second base, and then he does.
Yes, absolutely. And they always have the biggest smile on their face afterwards, like they've pulled a magic trick, you know?
New York at it again. Aloro on the outside here. The big throw. That's Drost. He can't jump high enough, though. Wow.
Oh, no, you didn't.
Oh. Tries
Greatest
to
attempt.
Keep it in bounds. He does. Wow. But it turns it over. There's Aloro again. Throws it low. Oh my goodness. Throws it low. Gets in his hands and drops it. Number 25, Sam Taylor.
That had a lot of hot sauce on that throw here. Here's Aloro. You got to do it. You got to crank it in hard. And if it hits your hands, it should go in, should be caught. And it's just a matter of you start looking elsewhere before you catch it. So here they have another chance. And what a great defensive play by Luke Phelan.
Phelan grabs it, looks to dump it back. He goes over to the other side of the field. That one could have been trouble, but Schwartzer grabs it. Oh. Ottawa, how about this play? The big Huck, all alone, drops his hat, jumps up and grabs it with two hands. Another score for Ottawa. How about that set of plays? And Drost just has his hands up in the air, wondering what's going on.
Are you not entertained? We almost had a Callahan, a greatest, and then look at this play. What a play by Luke Phelan. And then he goes and throws it cross field here. And this is just flat out dangerous. This is a chance for a greatest here. And it's grabbed by Harrison Schwartzer. Great save there. Out to space, Nick Boucher comes and slides in with the big save, so close to being down. And then Boucher throws big lefty Huck, and Scott Westwell goes up over the top. Very hard to do when you feel a defender coming behind. And what a great job.
I don't know how long that pack was, about 30 seconds, but that was 30 seconds of amazement. Oh my, look at that. Oh.
Wow, it looks like that might have touched down, yeah. Nick Boucher didn't wait for the ref to call. He faked it till he made it there. So
now maybe an ill-advised throw, and that was thrown across the end zone there.
Yeah, but Phelan didn't have anything to throw to, so he had to make that throw. And it's dangerous because if the other team catches, it's an automatic point.
Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do when it's stall 6.
So Ottawa with possession right on the goal line, and they get it. They get another point. Ottawa just does not stop the pressure. 22-14, 8-point lead, the biggest lead they've had in this game.
Fantastic play there by the man they call Kid, Colin Green, who's now a savvy veteran, just coming back from Team Canada Masters appearance where he was a captain. And he made a nice throw there, a nice fake backhand. He's left-handed, fake backhand, and he threw out the space to Russ Nichols, who's having a pretty strong game today. Like, I've seen him play this year, and this probably might be one of his best games this season. So good job by Russ, and good play by Colin Green.
Just under the halfway point of the fourth quarter, a commanding lead by Ottawa, one you think that they cannot lose in this game, especially since they've been playing so well and putting on a great show for their fans.
Yeah, and we'll take a look at the team leaders here on the New York side. We've got Ryan Drost. He had 30 goals coming into the game today. I know he's had at least 3 today as well. Taylor Brooks, who didn't make the trip, he's the one-star player that isn't here today. He's got 30 assists. And on defensive turnovers created, Ryan Drost with 31 this year. So when he's out there, on every 7 points that he's out on the field, usually he creates a turnover 1 in every 7 defensive points that he plays. On the Ottawa side, we have Mike Lee, who has 45 goals this year, 33 in the last 6 games. Just incredible. Good on him. Keelan Way, who's missed a lot of time due to Team Canada commitments, has 40 assists. Just a wonderful player, always has been since for about the past 10 years, and he's still quite a young guy. And on defensive turnovers created, Ottawa just kind of on near the bottom in terms of league leaders for defensive turnovers created, but Nick Boucher with a very respectable 25 in the games that he's played so far this season.
You've talked about Mike Lee over the last 6 games and how well Ottawa's played. They're 4-2 their record in those games.
Yeah, and they've had the benefit of playing some of the teams that they should be. Like Philadelphia Phoenix have yet to win a game this year. They're literally a phoenix. You know, they're rebuilding from the ashes. They have 2 professional teams playing in the same city, so they're kind of building it up. But you know, we've got to give credit where credit is due. Mike Lee has played very well, and the Outlaw players who didn't otherwise have a chance to play, they've had their moment, and they've gone 4-2. That's very respectable, and they should be commended for that.
New York with the deep puck. No chance there, though, by Babbitt, as he was well ahead of that throw. Ottawa takes possession. Once again, as they've done so much today, controlling the disc. Westwell looking the low throw. Oh, goes over the shoulder of Phelan, and it drops. New York takes possession. That's number 2, Keegan. This one on the outside now. Coffer throws it in, and all alone, just standing there waiting for it.
Goober over the top to Jeff Babbitt. We got to see that on the replay. There's nothing like a little flash and dash when we're in the 4th quarter here to keep people interested. So here we have Murphy, just very good player, smart player, throws it out to space here. Number 77, Clark Coffer, Scoober over the top. How you doing to Jeff Babbitt? And a nice play by Babbitt on that play.
Amazing, Scoober, the accuracy right to him.
And we're going to take a look at that play of the 30 seconds of fun here. It was just incredible to watch. We have Nick Boucher coming down, and our fans at home, make sure you tweet at the Ottawa Outlaws here and let me know. You think that's up or down? We're half full, glass half full kind of guys.
So what about this? Look at his left hand, though. So it's hard to see right now.
Yeah.
A great replay, by the way. So he has it, right? But it's on the ground as well.
Yeah, if he's got possession of it, then if he gets his hand on it there, so it's close.
Yeah.
Definitely a good the luck. It's great to have HD replay. It's a lot easier for us to make that call than the refs that are on the sidelines and happening real time.
Yeah, there's no instant replay on the field. You can't call up and have another look at things. So a good call, a tough call there by the refs, but a good one as Ottawa gets another point. Jeff Bevan with the assist to Lee again. This will be a tough player of the game call after this one. Lee's had a good one.
Well, Andy Corey was really, before you jinxed him there, Andy Corey was really having a good run there. And so Andy Corey and Mike Lee are tied for the team lead in goals so far. Andrew Octorloni has been kind of a stat god today. He's had 2 goals, 4 assists, a lot of Ds. He's actually found himself playing a lot of defense against some good players on the Empire. When we look at the other side here, Owen Murphy's just been really good on offense. He's kind of slowed down the assist so far. He's got 5. And Ryan Drost has been had 2 assists. He's had 3 goals. He's been one of the leaders on the team. In terms of style points, Mike Drost, some of those flick hucks into the end zone for goals were just incredible to watch for the Empire. So good on him.
New York with possession. Aloro, some contact on him as his defender gets on him quickly. This is a big opportunity for New York to get a quick point here. They're not able to do it, though. Ottawa just playing some great defense. There's a big huck. Running at it quickly. 2 players and knocks it down. Mensah, great D.
Yeah, that's Paul Mensah's 2nd D at least, and he has a goal tonight. And so he hasn't had as much play time as some other guys, but he's out there. He's a game breaker. Here's the big throw by Murphy. It's the right play. It's a good throw. But look at Mensah. He just boxes him out. It's just good defense. You know, number 25 had no chance of grabbing that disc because Mensah was right underneath him.
Taylor here too. He was favoring his left leg, it looks like, afterwards. And he'll walk off the field.
Well, he has left everything on the field for his team today. He has really played a hard game for his team. And Mensa should be happy about that. He's just had a really, really strong game when he's had the chance to play.
And that's just another example of a play where New York has great field advantage, and they have to score on that one, and they just can't capitalize.
The change in the professional ultimate from in amateur, it's 10-second stall count down to 7 really makes the game more exciting. People have to get the disc off really, really quickly.
Schwartzer with some trouble there, and that one gets past them on defense as well. A quick point for New York as they get the disc and score 23-16 now.
Matthew Stevens getting on the score sheet with his second goal today. So just a quick turnover transition. Clark Coffer with his second assist of the game, and he just throws it out to space there. And fans trying to get their team pumped up here. We definitely, the noise we picked up here a little bit. You can never go wrong with a Queen song to get people cheering at a sports event.
And you mentioned it earlier, a good amount of fans at the game today as well here to take in what looks like is going to be a big Ottawa win, currently in the lead 23-16. They've broken that 20-point barrier once again. There are the fans.
Well, it's a perfect size stadium. It just handles the right amount of fans. It makes everyone feel like it's a well-attended full event, and it really adds the atmosphere whenever you can have this many people come out and support the team.
Good facilities too. I've heard a lot of people talk about the field, and they really like the cushion. One thing I hate about playing on fields like this is all those black plastic pieces you get in your socks and shoes afterwards.
Your socks and shoes afterwards for months. Hey.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But a great facility for this Ottawa club. Oh, that one up in the air, a big jump. And he comes down with it. There was 2 Ottawa players, and it looked like, 2 New York players, and maybe a Ottawa player or 2 mixed in there as well. But he pulls it down. Number 21, Ross Ward.
Yeah. So a good play by New York here. The throw comes out from number 14, Joe Ouellette, who spent a lot of time with the medical staff before this game, getting some work on his legs and stuff. Hasn't played that much, but he gets out there and he makes that throw out to space. And a good catch by Ross Ward.
We'll have to ask our wonderful producer, Alain Ouellette, afterwards if there's any relation. Al, back in his ultimate playing days, he was the big star maybe in Ottawa. We don't know. We'll find out. We'll get back to you, fans.
And from my headset, I'm confirming that's a no.
No, big no.
Well, he is a huge fan of Ultimate. It was not his forte back in the day. And there's no relation to doing the New York Empire player, so no nepotism going on by this network today.
Ottawa gets that one on the outside. Quick throw there, another couple of quick throws. Ottawa trying to pad their lead. Number 22, Arsenault, dumps it back. That's David Jansen. Jansen we saw with a great point earlier on in this game. Unexpected as he's controlled the disc so much in the backfield in this game.
Well, really, I mean, we've been watching this game, such a strong game by Ottawa here. We haven't even noticed that the 2 number 1 handlers are not in the lineup today. It's just been...
There's a deep one, and Ottawa gets his hands on it. Number 14, it looks like it is. Mike Lee, once again. He just keeps his momentum going, adding to his stats.
That's his 4th goal of the second half. He's got 6 so far this half. And really nice to see Colin Froats make a beautiful throw into the wind here. Perfect. 2 defenders right on him and still can't stop that. Nice play by Colin Froats on that play.
He is an unbelievable player for this club, Lee. As you said, I think it was 33 points in the last 6 games.
And the funny thing is that, yes, we know he's going very fast. We were at sideline. We saw the warm-ups. We know all these guys are fast and tall and whatever. But doesn't it look like he's in control when he's running? Like those cuts are on angles to stay in bounds, and he's given his throwers something to look at every single time. So it's just really on a roll right now.
And we saw that play earlier on too, where it was Babbitt that was trying to block him, tried to dive to stop the disc, but still able to get his hands on it, Lee, to get the goal.
Yep.
Just over 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Ottawa up 24-17. Brett Jewett here alongside Stephen Traynor. It's been an exciting game for Ottawa.
Unfortunate turnover by Coffer there. They were really moving the disc up.
Mensah jumps up. No chance for either of those two to get that disc.
I think the main defender on that play was Sunshine. I think both those guys could see nothing. It was like the worst angle to throw that disc. And the sun just went down right in their face, and they weren't able to see it coming, so misjudged the disc on that play.
Zaloro throws it to midfield. Drost has it now. Drost been very effective with the disc today. That one thrown deep. Number 17 jumps up and grabs it. And again, number 17, that's Matthew Stevens. He gets it. The score. Wow, great play there by Stevens. First to make the first grab, dump it back, and then run deep to make the second grab in the end zone.
Where has Stevens been this game? I mean, this fourth quarter, he's just lining his pockets with points and stats here. That's his second goal in a couple of minutes here. Good grab against Mensah. That's not an easy catch to make.
There you see it again.
And Keegan, nice throw. Keegan's showing us some promise. He's showing us kind of like what we expected going into this game today. It hasn't been his game. It hasn't been Alero's game today. And because of that, because those kind of are key central parts on the offense and defensive side, it's kind of affected their the team's overall game, which shows you just how important they are. They're starting to get their swagger back to in this fourth quarter, and they just want to build up their confidence going into the game against Toronto. It's a big pride game tomorrow that they're going to try and win.
Big pull there by New York, one of their few going into the wind in this game. Penalty called on that play. And is Ottawa going to take possession here?
Last minute of play in regulation.
They do. So Ottawa, 43 seconds left in the game. They're up 24-18, a game they've dominated. Oh, and they turn it over.
30 seconds.
The unforced note, you just have to smile sometimes. You just got caught in the wind there, and he bobbled it. Now New York has a chance to finish off strong and score here.
They get the quick one, the score, number 21. Ross Ward.
Lots of good finishes here. Stevens and Ward have both had very good fourth quarters, and it's just been a really, really good game, a really good day for the fans to watch for the Ottawa Outlaws. A lot of young kids here watching, getting inspired by all these players. And with 17 seconds left and a 5-point goal differential, it's pretty safe to say that Ottawa's going to move one step closer to 500, and that's the goal at this point. You finish off strong, win your last 3 games. You got one against, you got 2 more against Philadelphia, and you have a chance to finish strong here.
That's a good point. I was talking to Haig before the game, the head coach, and talking about pride a little bit in these games, but as you said, playing for that 500 mark too, that would be a great way to end the season.
They had a great expansion year last year. They finished 7-7, and they want to do a little bit better than that. If they can go 500 or just a little bit better, that's what the expectation should be.
A hammer by Ottawa. 8 seconds left. Throws it along the side. We'll see if Lee can create separation. Oh no, they go the other side of the field. That's number 22 Arsenault, and he gets his hand on it. It almost looked like he was trying to knock it down, but gets his hand on it. Can't pull it in. They don't get the point, but 24-19, the final here for Ottawa.
Yeah, what an interesting game there today. And you know, when we look at who really led the charge for the Ottawa Outlaws, I would say that you know, MVPs of the game would be Andy Corey, who was magical in that first half. I know that Andy Octorloni was great, and Mike Lee really came on and really added some points at the end. But early on in the game, I think Andy Corey, when the game was on the line, he was kind of the go-to guy, and I think that I would say that he would be the MVP of the game.
So again, 24-19 the final. The next broadcast here for Ottawa, their next game versus Philadelphia, the Phoenix in Ottawa on July 9th. Be sure to check out that one as they look to finish the season 7-7 at 500.
Yeah. And as you said before, that game against Philadelphia Phoenix, we're hoping that it'll be well attended and it'll be watched by many people at home. Philadelphia struggled this year. Ottawa's kind of, you know, had a really good time against them, and we'll look to finish the season strong. So make sure you get out to the park and watch that game.
So after this, be sure at 7 p.m. the soccer game, Ottawa Fury versus the New York Cosmos. Tyler McDonald and Gordon Smith calling that one. Make sure you catch it. This was an exciting game today. A lot of fun to call. Thank you very much, Stephen Trainer, and our host down on the field, Yitka Trainer as well. I am Brett Jewett. I hope you enjoyed this one. 24-19 your final at MNP Park.